So how are you surprising when he walks in? Me being on.
Well, he's just gonna, yeah.
Will he see me? Am I on the screen? Yeah.
Old Robbo flick to Robbo.
It'll be funny to see his reaction.
So
How do you know when he's coming? He's just the buzz.
He's texting me now. He's all over the shop.
No, but how do you know when he's coming in the studio? Because you have to buzz.
Because we'll buzz him in.
One eternity later.
All right, he's here. Do you just want to go get him? Go get him. Fucking hell. You got to rinse him for this. Be like, Robbo, I've been sitting here for 20 minutes, mate. What are you fucking doing? Mate.
I'll do this podcast, but I'm not doing it if Jeff White's on it. Oh, what the hell? Anyway,
Come on. Get the cans on. Get the cans on. He's been waiting. Whitey's been waiting 24 minutes.
Whitey can wait for me.
Mate, I could have had a protein shake waiting for you.
You could have. How are you?
Jeffrey.
Hello,
Congratulations,
sir.
mate. Congratulations.
Yeah. That's
Thank
it.
you.
Sent him a message already.
Mike, get him in. Get him in shot, please.
Thanks.
Okay.
There we go.
You're good. You're a pro, Robbo. Come on.
Same hair. Same hair.
Yeah.
Great.
You chop yours.
Yeah, I've gone back to my footy day. Look.
Yeah, he's got it.
2006. 2006, Robbo. Well,
Look at that.
there you go.
Hoping
Jeff
so.
White's here, Robbo.
It's the meeting of the greats.
It is.
Not the great minds, the greats.
The 24th, the 34th.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
Hey, that's so good about Kalani.
Well, let's start. This is Robbo's rundown.
Yeah, let's
We're
do it.
here. We're recording now.
Oh, we're recording.
Yeah.
I see you called all that.
Record it all.
Lucky I didn't
That'll
say
be in the
anything.
edit. You just
I didn't
wait.
say anything rude.
No, Jeff was just talking about how you owed him for the 7 goals that you kicked down at Cardinia Park.
I do owe Jeffrey a lot. I did say this just the other day, and this is not to pump up his tyres, but we're talking about ruckman, and obviously it's always a big issue with Melbourne and what's going to happen with Max when he goes, and what was it like with you? I said, well, we always had, Jeffrey. He was very durable, never really got injured, and he was a shorter ruckman than most. He'd have to fight like shit to get over the top of them, but he jumped and all of this. And then everyone asked me, what's Kehlani like? I'm like, I have no idea. He's been up in the Gold Coast, and by all reports, he's taller than his dad. So, we're excited. And really, it's just like, it's wonderful to have a father-son situation, because everybody else seems to get them. But anyway, I was talking about this to somebody, and they said, who was the best? Oh, that's right. I was at training the other night, Jeff. Someone said to me, who was the best to lead to? I said, well, everyone thinks it's Ooze, but it wasn't. It was this bugger right here.
Oh, bullshit.
No, true.
Bullshit.
Always right.
Now, the reason I call bullshit on that, so Jeff, just so you know, Rob and I were doing a podcast a couple of months ago, and I vividly remember you saying that if Kalani didn't nominate the D's,
Yeah,
you were going to go up to Queensland.
yeah. And beat the shit out of White.
So now it's Whitey's retort. What do you make of that? Little Russell Robertson's going to come up there and beat up 195 centimetre Jeff White.
I was going to bring Nita.
Oh, you're going to...
I was actually going to say you would bring Stinger. But anyway, or
One of
Hoppy, or one of them.
Hoppy,
no,
yeah, Hoppy
it
had a
was-
bit of dog in him.
It was quite funny when you said that, Adrian, because literally half an hour he texted me. He said, "Oh, I'm so happy you decided to come," and I felt like replying, but all I did was send a selfie of him and
Yeah, he did.
Kalani and I in the car.
Nah, it's good. It's
More
good.
than words, more than words.
No, but in all honesty, this is the perfect place to start the show. Your emotion, Jeff, when the announcement was made, even Kalani himself, you could just see he had goosebumps as well.
Yeah.
And just the overwhelming support and the Melbourne community getting a nice positive sugar hit, because admittedly it's been a bit of a horrible year for the football club. So a lot of people even sending in messages to me on the debrief and just saying, what a great way to end the season. Kalani's nominated and you're just over the moon, Jeff. So take us into the emotions, take us into the thoughts and feelings of the household and Kalani himself.
Yeah, and I want to sort of say that I've been requested to do a lot of media, so I've sort of left this for the debrief. So I haven't really said anything, so there's a little bit of a intel. But I said from the outset, and I've said it to Robbo, I've said it to many of the players, that it's his decision. I wanted to leave it for him. And I think that the experience for him to go to the Suns, stay with Melbourne, train at Melbourne, experience the Suns, the whole mix of that was a real good journey for him. And it really gave him a really good perspective of the players, the staff, the environment. But look, in short, can't fault Melbourne from, and the story will come out. There's other stuff to talk about when it comes to the draft, which is really, really good. But the last couple of years they've been awesome. Everything from Jeff, who's on the board, Kehlani stay with him, DeLuca, to Colton Tolstrip, Xavier, Lindsay, to Harvey Langford, all the young brigades. Christian Petrarca driving to the airport and his last visit. So there's a lot of connecting dots that have really established that overwhelming excitement for Kehlani. And you can't buy that sort of experience. You can't, it needs to be really instinctive. Tyler Hanks has been his minder for the last 2 years. She's handballed on to Riley Bonner, he's been unbelievable. So there's the progression of that journey. So apart from footy itself, we know he's got the potential. He's a progress player. He's got to take time to develop. It's all about the experience, and this is not taken away from the Suns Academy. The Suns Academy has been unbelievable for him. He's had a wonderful experience, and you'll see that this year there's going to be. I'm going to say there's going to be at least 5, 6 players drafted from that academy. So they're doing great things. But at the end of the day, it's how he felt, and can't fault the club. Been unbelievable. So when we got the phone call, it was actually about 4 weeks ago now. So how the process works is clubs can't contact players until after the national carnival. So it had to be all done and dusted, and then got a text message from Timmy Lamb saying, "Hey, I want to catch up with you with an interview." I'm like, "Okay, cool. Yep, no worries." And that's what caught me off guard, because the video that they showed last week, I had many chins going there, Robbo. And where I put the phone, it was like a bit lower in the steering wheel of the car because I was away. And all I could see was his chins, but I totally forgot that they were recording. I didn't realise. So I got stitched there. And my mate Dylan, as you know Dylan, he ran all day with that, just laughing. But when we officially got told, because what happens is, obviously Kehlani has to nominate either way, but the club also has to nominate. So really exciting, and then fast forward to last week, I get a call from Jace Taylor at about 4:30 on Tuesday afternoon, and they weren't aware of this. So, and this is behind the scenes story. Jace goes, "Hey, just ringing you to let you know, we're going to announce Kehlani. We're going to announce it tonight." I'm like, "Holy shit, no you can't." He's like, "What's that?" Kehlani's at Suns training. He's got his full Suns kit on. He's training in the XL program. So he's going to come off, and all this has been announced on AFL.com, and it's Melbourne and blah, blah. We have to push this back. So thankfully they were able to push it back, and that's why the AFL announced it like really late at night, but they had everything scheduled. And then Melbourne, of course, announced it the next day. So, yeah, good journey. Really exciting for the family, and obviously really exciting for Kehlani.
Oh, it's awesome, Jeffrey. It's really awesome. We've talked all year about it, the past players, and we always do. We keep close tabs on each other and how our kids are going. And obviously Kehlani has been doing his thing up there, and we knew it, and we were really keen to see. Well, mostly because we want to see you more, Jeffrey, at the games. That's obviously going to happen now.
Did you know it though? Did you know it was going to happen? No. When did he make the decision, Jeff? I mean, how tough a decision was it for him? Or was it a close run thing for him?
Look, probably halfway through the year, I think he sort of, I would quiz him a lot, just asking, how you're feeling. And we'll go through all the pros and cons. I think it's really important. Look, at the end of the day, yes, of course, I want him to be red and blue. besides me calling the games at Suns, I've got no association with the Suns. But so it was clearly his decision, and we would spend a lot of time, going through the pros and cons, of both clubs. I got a bit of it in, sort of, he was sliding that way, pushing towards Melbourne, sort of halfway through the year, and that became really exciting. But we still need to go through the process and so on and so forth. But we sort of discussed it with his manager. His manager is Julian Petrarca, so that's Christian's older brother. So Julian rang and said, "Where are you leaning?" We said, "Well, this is where we're leaning." So it was sort of a bit of a confirmation towards Melbourne, and then then we had that meeting for them to acknowledge that, and then obviously for Kalani to acknowledge it back.
I suppose everybody now, the thought process is great. We've got a father, son. We know what his dad could do. Tell us a bit about Kehlani and how he goes about his craft, mate. Ruckman, forward. We've seen some footage of him having shots on goal.
Yeah,
as a pure ruckman, you'd know a lot more about that. Give us a bit of synopsis of what he's going to do wearing the red and blue.
Yeah. Oh, look, I don't want to put any adverse pressure on him, and I think that's what the club's been really mindful of that. Even when he's played at Casey, he's had limited time. Look, light frame. He's 200 centimetres. Can jump higher than me. He's very quick. Good below his knees. He's got all the attributes there. He just needs to work on his craft and have that, be involved in the program. You've got to understand he's been training 3 days a week, and now he's going to go into a program that's training every day. So he's going to put on a bit of beef. He's going to get a bit of that core strength into him. But obviously seen him from a very young age. He's got some freakish skills, freakish abilities. He can jump. Oh my God, he can jump. We played a bit of a father's son basketball thing at the end of last year, and holy crap, 360 dunks, and he can jump. And I think if they come out with a rule so in relation to where he's been playing, he was an All-Australian centre-half back in under-16s, but the last 2 years have been working on forward ruck, and he didn't really play too much in the ruck. He mainly forward. But if they bring out the rule next year, which they're talking about, where they're not going to allow the rucks to go across the line, that they actually have to jump against each other, good luck going against him.
Well, that was your thing, Jeffrey. That was your thing. You had that big long run up, and we know the story. It's very, very storied. How they brought in the circle rule, and that was they call it the centre circle. They should call it the Jeff White circle, because they brought it in because of him, because he was just jumping clear over Big Spider Burton, and
he was.
They complained.
We've got two blokes on here that can jump.
That's right. Well, I mean, you say that, but Jeffrey could genuinely jump. I was more of a leverage kind of guy. I was more of a bit more of timing, and then knew where to put my knees. Whereas Whitey would just spring, and it sounds like Kalani's got just oodles of that. So, we're not putting any pressure on Kalani at all, because I understand this, mate. I've got a young fella that's coming through at the moment with some stuff as well, and it's really exciting as a parent to see the development. You just get a little bit like, wow, what's going on there? I didn't teach that. But a question, and you can ask me the question you want to ask in a second.
Sure.
I'll ask really quickly, Whitey, who do you sort of liken him to in the AFL? This is just for the fans out there that are just sort of grabbing onto things and going, well, what are we going to get? Is it a Dogger Jackson sort of thing, or is he a
taller Jeff White? I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
look.
I'm happy with that.
Hang on for a second.
Here we go.
There's. Oh, well, he's absolutely more handsome, isn't he? Way more handsome.
Definitely.
There he is.
It's a given.
How are you,
mate?
Kalani? You look like your mum. That's why you're handsome.
Yeah, I say you look like your mum.
That's why you're good looking.
You've got the mo going on. So
he's going, what are the living arrangements, just quickly? Where's he going to live? Who's he going to shuck up with, Jeff? Does he know that yet?
So, what's Jeff's last name, Kalani? Or Robbo might know. He's on the board. Jeff.
Jeff Pawsey.
Pawsey, yeah. So he's been living with him. So I think he'll stay with him before Christmas. And then, well, look, at the end of the day, Kalani still has to get drafted. So we've got to keep that in mind.
Yeah. Whoa, temper.
Still have to get his name called out. So that's the most important thing.
Of course.
But at least from our perspective, we can give some. We can put a strategy in place. We can logistically know where he's going to start, which is really good for the family. And obviously, we've got a lot of I've got a lot of friends and family down there. His auntie still lives down there, and then got connections all over the place. So obviously that won't be an issue. But I think Jeff, he's really good mates with Luke Kentfield, so developed a really good friendship with him and Colton Tolstrup. But on your question, Robbo, he models himself on Luke Jackson. I mean, he's been a Demons supporter his whole life, so that was a really good introduction there. But he can jump, he's really good below his knees. For a big fella, you'll be, if he can develop on his skills and other areas, he's really good at lateral awareness. He gets that from his basketball background. Really good at understanding where the players are around him. Can take a mark, can jump. But one of the biggest attributes I've always seen from a young age is just the ability to be so clean below his knees. And that's what I love.
Was a bit about, yeah, and that was a bit like Jeffrey. He was
very good,
very agile, very good. Man,
well, he had no excuse. He was only 195.
Oh, that's right.
He wasn't 200 plus, so he should have been good.
A beautiful kick of the footy as well, which was
very good kick. But I call bullshit. Whose was a better kick in my opinion. But again, I wasn't out in the field. I was watching you blokes from the stands. I just wanted to make a point, Jeff, on Max Gawn. So we speak about Max and the experience that he's going to get, but one thing I've been saying to supporters is just to temper expectations with big blokes. I think I think we owe it to any ruckman, because that's the general rule of thumb. Not everyone is a Luke Jackson. They get picked at number 3, which is abnormal in this climate. And he's a unicorn, that bloke. So I think just pump your brakes. And the reason I say that is I just had to quickly go back through and look, and it rejogged my memory. Max Gawn had his breakout game down at Cardinia Park, if you remember right, and he was clunking them, and that was 2015. So that was his 4th season of AFL footy. So my big thing for supporters and everyone getting excited about the prospects of Kalani, which is awesome, and we all should get excited, is just pump the brakes a little bit. You're saying that to him as well?
Oh, yeah. And it showed this year, he's got so much to learn and grow, and the opportunity to play Casey was really good. The only reason why he was able to stay on the ground for long periods of time in that last quarter against Essendon is because they had 2 players go down with cramp. And then when he played the other 2 Casey games, he played like literally 5 minutes each quarter, and the quarters are longer than what he was doing with the Allies. So he felt like he wanted to, play more, but I spoke to the Casey coach after the famous Brisbane win, and he said, no, we're just holding him back. So really good professionalism from Melbourne, and full credit to them that they gave him some taste of that VFL exposure. But cool, the Jets, really exciting, obviously the father-son connection, but I'm really, really interested. I've seen what he can do from a young age, and I guess it's not being biased because I'm his dad, but I can see. I've seen a lot of players in my time. I can see what he can do, but I'm just really excited to see what happens when he's involved in the AFL system. He's training every day. He's getting bigger. He's getting stronger. All that sort of stuff. What then happens? Because that could be the exciting part. So from a father's perspective, that's what I'm looking forward to.
Is Whitey looking forward to the Peter Dacos attention, 7 cameras on him? Are you looking forward to that as well? Because that's going to happen.
I don't reckon he will.
What with? When?
You just know when Josh and Nick Dacos are playing and it pans to Peter and Peter's in the box and he's carrying on like a dickhead. I actually loathe it, but you got to get used to that as well, Jeff.
Yeah, I got to get used to. I've got to wear glasses now because I can't see like at the ground, so I'll have to be wearing specs, which would be pretty cool.
How good would it be, White, if both our sons are playing for Melbourne one day and we're in a box and the camera pans to us and we're just sculling beers and acting like idiots, like really playing up to it?
Yeah,
I hope so.
I'm sure we'll be able to work out a way when it happens.
Yeah.
Well, Granny's kid could be there as well.
Well, absolutely.
We'll all be in the box together. Hey?
My son played Granny's boy on the weekend, and they're both really handy, and they're both getting involved in the Sandy Dragons thing at the moment, which is really exciting. And I understand what you're going through, Whitey, there. I've got only one boy, and you've got 3, and it's it's exciting to see them take their first steps. It's exciting to see them start putting sentences together and, writing and all those things that you tick off on the way. And then they start to find out who they are. And as a parent, it's a wonderful thing. And it just must be an amazing thing for that man right now to see this next part of his life. Where I'm in the thick of it with Tex, who's 14 at the moment, and has really hit his strides this year in terms of what he's going to sort of be, and that's wonderful to see. Because seriously, I know what you're saying, Whitey. You're watching and you go, "What the hell was that?"
Yeah.
Like that was just instinctual stuff that you sort of go, "Right, well, that's what it's all about, right there."
I've got to be careful what I say about these boys when they're playing.
Yeah.
If I'm still doing this podcast, I might get a call from both of you.
Yeah,
I didn't like what you said about him the other week. I've got to be careful.
No, we understand all that.
I think the most important part is time. And what I say about that is I watch all the games that try and whether it's interstate or whether it's I can watch in person, but you just don't get back that time. I mean, when you look at it, Kalani's going to the draft in November, and then he's gone. It's like wow, like he's just here. Like all of a sudden, the flick of a switch, you don't see him on a regular basis, which is great. It's almost like Finding Nemo. You let him out. You sort of got to let him go. But that's what I've really focused on particularly last year and a half. Adrian asked me before we went on air, "Have you been playing golf?" I haven't. I love my golf, but I haven't been playing golf purely because I've had a focus on making sure that if they've got school footy, if they've got anything that happens on a Saturday or Sunday, I'm present and I'm there.
It's awesome. It's so good. And look, the thing is, Adrian, I remember back to when we first started Whitey. It was, it was genuinely an exciting time. You get drafted to a football club, but you don't really realise at the time, although you sort of have some inkling that the work starts, but you didn't realise how much work was about to start and how hard it is. I mean, you only got to go as far as Tajwai Woden at the moment as a father-son, and you think, well, it's just going to be an easy step. Being the father of a champion, a Brownlow medalist, and I'm going to find my way. There's a lot of luck involved with a career too. Junior football, by and large, if you're good, you'll stand out, but then you've got to go and be with the best. And that's the next thing for Kehlani, and I'm sure he'll rise through that, and good players do. Taj is a good player as well, but there's also this element of luck. So for me, Jeffrey, I remember you were over at Fremantle, and being a number one pick, you sort of get thrown in with a lot of expectancy too, being that number one draft pick. For me, there was no expectancy, but I needed my opportunity, and that came when Gary did his back.
You were opposite ends of the spectrum, you and Jeff.
Yeah, I was right at the end of the draft. He was right at the start of it. So no expectancy for me to play in my first year, but we had so many injuries in 1996, 97. And in my first year, 97, I think it was Gary's back went on him again. He had Sean Smith knocking himself out every single week, so he was in and out of the team, just landing on his head from those high hangers he was taking. Yeah. Schwarter, we know, was coming back from his knee, wasn't he, Whitey? And then Nita was our full forward, and he was probably needed at centre halfback. So I got a run with the Whiz, and things started to settle after that, but I got my run, and I was able to go from there with it. It was an exciting time too, mate, because Whitey came to the club. We had young Ooze. We had young Leon Shelley.
Shell was good.
James McDonald and that crew coming through at the same time that became mainstays of the Melbourne Football Club for a long time.
Wardy.
Daniel Ward, Walshy, Weeders, Greeny, Brucey, the list goes on, and they became 10-year players at the Melbourne Football Club. So, I mean, I'll be looking at Kalani, not to play senior football, but to look at that group. And you just mentioned some of them, Tholstrup, Whitey, and of course we know Lindsay can play, and we know that Harvey can play. And, those guys stick together. It's sort of exciting, isn't it, Jeff?
Yeah, and that's what's been really exciting from a father's perspective. Is I remember when Kalani was down there, and I was texting him and said, "How you going, buddy?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm just sitting having a coffee with Christian Petrarca, and he's going out for dinner with Xavier Lindsay." Actually, in fact, they took him to the basketball. So they just really got him involved because Kalani's a bit of an introvert. It's similar to sort of me, but he really opens up when you sort of reach out to him and he feels comfortable. And that was really important. And on top of all this too, one of the most important things, and a really good shout out to Todd Patterson too. I know that he's at Tassie, but I really want to give a shout out to him because he did a lot of the legwork to start with. But I remember him saying one of the most important things was we want to understand who Kalani is. We can see the potential. We can see what he could be, but we want to understand who he is. And I thought that was really important. Even little things like Alan Richardson rang Stace, so Kalani's mum. And so they got talking and all that sort of stuff. And Stace remembers, she rang me afterwards. She goes, "Who's Alan Richardson?" I had no idea who he was. But what Alan Richardson was trying to do was understand who Kalani was. So it wasn't about ringing me. It was about ringing his mum, and I thought that was really outstanding. So they've put a lot of pieces in place for Kalani to actually, have that opportunity to, as we keep saying, get drafted, get his name called out. But yeah, you're right. And he had with the Australian side this year, or the AFL Academy, they had Jager Smith as a guest, and he went pick 3 for Carlton. I remember him saying that, look, there's all that hype, all that talk, but it's not until you hear your name get called out that it becomes official.
Yeah,
and so
becomes real.
That's what we've been, that's what we're hoping for when it comes draft night, second night with Kalani. Probably second night, but first and foremost though, for that to actually unfold now, the big weight off Kalani's shoulders. He's had the last 2 weeks off. He starts training next week, which will be really exciting for him. And he's got the combine and then the draft. So yeah, things will happen pretty quickly.
Can we brief the Melbourne Football Club? If they don't get Max Gawn up on stage presenting him with a jumper, they have failed.
I think that's the first night. I don't know if Kalani will go.
He won't even do it.
Yeah, he won't even do it. No, I don't think so. I don't think that. But I will say that Gawny's been he's been brilliant. I mean, Kalani loved it. He sent me a screenshot. Gawny followed him on Instagram. It was like the biggest thing,
Big.
But yeah, look, it's not only the players, but the entire staff. Has just been really can't question their enthusiasm and it's also, it's not forced welcome. You know what I mean by that, Rob. It's not, we've got to do. It's just an instinctive, like little things like Tyler rang Stace, told the story where she's going, "Come on, Kalani, you've got to go to the airport." And Christian Petrarca's like, "I've got to go to the airport too. I'll take him." Like, it's just instinctive, means a lot.
That's the stuff you don't hear,
Well, it's the conversations that he's having in the car.
Yeah. Oh,
priceless.
Absolutely.
Like, just be a sponge. Be a sponge when you're that age. I totally get it. So just on Max, we have to fixate on Max just a little bit more. We always fixate on Max because he's the greatest.
He is.
So with Max Gawn, so if you're a ruckman and you're a father-son and you get drafted to Melbourne and you get to learn from the greatest ruckman of all time, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
Like, for you, Jeff, as the father of Kalani, isn't that just insane to think of? Like, isolate that for a moment and go, his pathway, knowing that he gets at least 2 years with the GOAT, like, he must be pinching himself. And as a father, you must be thinking, how incredibly lucky is he going to be to not only learn ruckcraft, I said this on the podcast the other night, just learn to be a good person. Because the thing I love about Max is Max goes, I was a bit of a disheveled kid.
Yeah.
I didn't have a clue what I was doing.
Smoking a cigarette.
Exactly. So to get the guidance, we've all been there, but to get the guidance from Max in terms of being a all-round, well-rounded person, I think that's just as important as the stuff he'll learn on the field.
And to actually add to that he's the captain of the footy club. There's a lot of connections there. And I'm jealous in somewhat because, I want to learn more for the ruckcraft. I'm a sponge myself, learning what they're going through and the angles and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's a wonderful opportunity for Kalani. And he is, not being biased, being a Melbourne supporter, he is the best ruck I've ever seen. And the thing with, what's that?
Don't sell yourself short, mate. Bloody hell, he's had tutelage. He's had tutelage from a guy that was a number 1 draft pick superstar ruckman for the Melbourne Football Club into Max Gawn. So, it's the double whammy.
Yeah, the Russian as well.
The Russian as well. Look, it's Yeah, he's gonna, and this is what I'm excited about. I think it's that connection with Gawn and the other rucks that are at the club, and the other players that are at the club, and it's an exciting opportunity for him, and he's going to learn that area of playing footy, but he's also going to learn the craft of playing in the forward line, and just to really be involved in the AFL system. So that's what I'm excited to see how he progresses in that.
Well, Whitey got to the club and he had, I think, not the godfather, but he was the inventor of the modern day ruckman in Jim Steins as his mentor and passing the baton on, because before that they were dinosaurs, weren't they? They were tapping it down to the smaller guys. And then Jim Steins comes from Ireland and runs all over the park, and no ruckman had really done that. Probably, I don't know, I wasn't around in the, that era of the 50s, Polly Farmer and all that sort of stuff, but certainly in our era it was the Justin Maddens and the Dinos. It's Jeff
Jeff had a pretty good too then.
Had a really good learning from, well, I just think he was the first modern day ruckman, and they've all sort of followed suit from there. So it's been we've been really lucky at Melbourne with our ruckman along the way, and I feel like we're just going to keep getting that way. I've got one for you, 80. My son, his favourite, I'm going to throw it to you both. Who do you think my son's favourite player is at Melbourne?
Favourite player at Melbourne? What's your son play? What posie?
He's a wingman.
A wingman?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I wonder if it's got any parallels. I'm going to go with Harvey Langford.
Harvey Langford? Whitey, who do you think?
Langdon.
His favourite, and it's not positional, his favourite is Bailey Fridge.
Wow. Because he's a natural footballer.
Well, don't forget whose son he is. He loves a forward. We were playing on the weekend, and he hurt his back a little bit because he's been playing the wing the whole year and doing a great job. But I said, mate, go forward. He said, haven't been forward for ages. Within 3 minutes, he had 2 goals.
Love it.
So the apple don't fall too far from the tree. But I just wanted to mention that his favourite is Bailey Fritsch.
It's one of my favourites.
A lot of kids love Bailey. It's his actual screensaver on his phone is a photo he had with Bailey Fritsch. Yeah. One for you, mate.
Yep.
You're hearing this. You're a mad Melbourne man and always have been. And you're right up close and you've got a finger on the pulse with all the supporters.
It's a disease, but I love it.
Absolutely. But you hear this news about, and Whitey's not in the room right now. What do you feel? And what's the sentiment of the supporters out there, the fact that young Kalani, Jeff White's son, is about to sign with the Melbourne Football Club?
I think most people said that's payback for no Mac Andrew.
Yeah.
As the first thing. I reckon every second or third comment I saw on social media or got sent through to the DeeBrief account was payback, Mac Andrew, get that up your sons. But there's obviously no rivalry between us and the Suns. I think the overriding sentiment, just to be serious on this point, is it's probably that Max Gawn piece and that connection that people are most excited about. Jeff, very well loved player at the Melbourne Football Club. Very fair player, a very good player in his own right. So I think given the fact that the number 34, everyone loved watching Jeff go about his footy, and then you've got a kid that comes in as a father-son, knowing the impact that Jeff has had, I think it just warms the heart. We all love father-sons. Yeah. Father-sons are everything to us and everything to everyone as a football club, unless you're St Kilda, because they've never had one. Mm-hmm. But it was a nice drive-by after what happened with Naz and the meltdown a few months ago, but God, we'll never get over that one. No. But I think for us, looking at what's happened with Jack Viney is probably the reference point. So as supporters, we love Jack Viney and we love Todd. My dad would often speak about Todd and his impact. I got to see and remember like the back end of Todd's career before he made the weird tennis move and then came back, right? Yeah. So for me, the Viney legacy and seeing how cherished Jack is and will be a one club player for this football club and what he's done for us, and I think vastly underrated because of the Petrarcas and the Olivers and Gawns and these types. I think we look at it and we look at Kehlani and we look at that reference point and we go, well, if Kehlani can forge a career as good as Jack and obviously buying and love the club and he already does, I think it just warms the heart, mate. Yeah. And I think the biggest thing for us this year, and I said it earlier, we needed something positive. Yeah. And we've had Cozzy. We've had the re-signing of Cozzy, and how lucky is Kalani to be able to play with Keziah Pickett soon? That's going to be incredible for him to just get a front row seat like you did with the Wiz, both of you. So I think it's that bit of warming the heart, and it's the father-son connection that we all love.
Well, so I'll put it back to you guys. Who do you think the Kalani's favourite player's been?
Oh, is that a hint? Is it Cozzy? Is it just Cozzy?
It's got to be Petrarca, doesn't it?
Is it Petrarca? No? Oh, let me have a go.
Yeah, what's your go?
What's my go? His favourite player. I'm going to go Clayton Oliver.
Jack Vinny.
Oh, it's Jack. There you go. After everything I just said then.
Yeah. After everything. So he used to call him Jack Vinny. Couldn't really say the Viney. So that's how long it's been that he's been following, obviously, Melbourne for.
Yeah.
But when he heard that Jack was a father-son, so it made the connection with Kalani.
Yeah.
But also that he found out that Jack had a photo of me in his bedroom when he was growing up. That really put the 2 and 2 together for Kalani. So he's always had a soft spot for Jack Vinny. As he used to call him.
And I love that, and rightly so, because there's a lot of young kids out there that love Vines because of what his family heritage and history says of the Melbourne Football Club. What I love about what your boys about to go through is what we did, Jeffrey, in our early days, and they were by and large.
You're going to talk about partying?
Yes.
What's happening here?
Without giving too much away, but no, more that connection piece, that life connection piece. And I feel like I'm moving into a place now where I have nothing but love for my, past teammates, especially the ones that I spend a bit of time with. And we all get busy in our lives, and we have children, and we've got to find a vocation that's outside of football, and we all get settled, and you start to realise this wonderful thing that you had, and you lie in bed at night, Jeffrey, and you remember the antics.
Why are you calling me Jeffrey?
Probably no one calls him that, but I do. Like we were the nomads, weren't we? We'd travel all over Melbourne to train, and I've talked about this in previous podcasts.
All the time.
And can I quickly just steer this off and say how wonderful I think to the Melbourne Football Club, and what a great place it's in right now with people like Jace Taylor. You're talking about Lammy and good leaders at the football club, and the bad press that we've got lately is just Melbourne supporters. It's just wrong, and you just don't listen to anything. The thing that Simon Goodwin used to say, and I'm sorry he's not around anymore at the football club, but don't buy into the outside noise. It's just outside noise. I know a little bit about what's going on behind, and I'm really genuinely excited. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you what it is, but we have got some stability coming, and we're going to get good players in, and we're going to have, opportunity with some of the money that we've got. So what Kalani's coming to is actually really, it's not this basket case that everybody's talking about. I just hate it when I hear it. It's really positive. But Jeffrey and I we'd train all over Melbourne, and that nomadic lifestyle really just lent itself to us being more like us against them. We were this band of brothers, and we had fighting against everybody.
Yep.
And the shenanigans and the fun, they used to say that I had a real relaxed way of driving. My driving the way I sat in a car seemed to be way back.
I still tell quite
low rider.
Very low rider. That's the word.
I used to.
So
Did you think you're a gangster, Robbo?
I must have. Yeah. I must have. The way I did it and the music
Just
or whatever.
Picture Hightower in the back seat driving that little car.
So they thought I was sitting in the back seat as I was driving. But
who was the weirdest unit in your group? Who was the strangest cat?
Can I just tell a quick story about Robbo and his driving? This is today one of my favourite stories of Robbo. He was driving in Elwood, and when you can't set a lights, but he drove a little bit too far where the pedestrian crossing is. Yeah. And he was telling me this story that one day he's driven up there, just sitting on the red light. Like opens the door, sits in his passenger seat, and then hops out.
Got in the car with me.
Why?
Because Robbo parked over, because he parked on the line for him to walk.
It was very bizarre. This bloke looked
good.
Well, he kind of looked at me, this bloke.
That is good.
And sort of nodded like,
yeah, fuck it.
And I was like, hi. And then he got in the car. I was
Get in.
No, he wasn't all there. He was a little
He
bit
was, yeah.
happy with life.
But who wasn't all there? I want to know.
He was happy with life.
No, who was the one that wasn't all there?
Simon Godfrey. Was not
Goddess.
Goddess wasn't.
Poor Goddess. I've met Goddess. He's all right.
Was he? Mate, he was a unit.
You throwing Goddess under the
absolutely.
under the bus.
Absolutely.
The tagger. He's a good tagger.
He lived in for his football career, he lived in the cellar of his mum's house in a little dungeon.
Oh my God.
So Jake the Snake Pliskin, Simmons, Troy Simmons had snakes, he was a little bit strange.
Yeah.
Remember that day, Whitey, because I just ran with this thing about I used to, relax in the car. I ran with it a bit, and I'd try to do something outlandish. I'd see Whitey in front of me, driving a training, because we drove from, by and large, the same area. So we'd be leaving home about the same time, and I'd pass him, and he'd pass me. I'd see him in the distance, and I'd just try to think of something funny to do. Nothing short of being outside my car, being dragged along on the road, holding onto the steering wheel, something like that, just to get him going. And I had a car with a sunroof, and I'm quite flexible.
What was it, a Saab?
No, it wasn't. It was
I'm laughing at the moment. I know what it is.
It was about 6 o'clock in the morning, and Whitey's just driving his green Discovery to training, and here we go again. And I sort of went past him really slowly with one leg up outside the sunroof, like nothing. Kind of have a quick look, and he's piercing himself laughing.
I like that.
We had a lot of fun.
Robbo was up there in the cracking gags and being a clown. Leaderboard, was he, Jeff? Was he right up there?
Travis Johnson was probably
The worst.
Yeah, he was the gold medalist. His first year, he threw one of those fart bomb things in Gary Lyons' locker.
Basic behaviour.
First year
Gary
draft
Lyons
pick,
just loves farts.
Putting into Gary Lyons' locker. I was like, what's
Gary Lyons as well.
Do you think about it?
Gary Lyons' locker.
Yeah, you think about it. Travis Johnson,
Brave.
for all of his shenanigans, was one of those guys that lived every minute of his football career and loved every second and made it just a ball of a time. Genuinely could play the game of football.
Who was my favourite player?
Travis Johnson.
It was.
The Rolls Royce.
He was my favourite player. Sorry, boys. You were up there, both of you.
No, that's fine.
It was funny.
Lola.
It was funny.
Ooze was my second favourite.
And why not? And we all loved Ooze, didn't we, Whitey? I must say, the reason why he's not the person that I would choose as the best to kick to on a lead, because he'd always sort of go for goal instead.
It's true.
Whitey would pass it.
It's true. It's true. Nice little chiseled. I remember the nice little chiseled, like 15, 20 metre ball from Whitey. He was good at those ones.
I didn't like the wasted kicks.
No.
Neil would say to me, "Don't kick it to him in the midfield." Okay, so what if no one's got to kick it to me, that means I've got to hit lace out. So I focused on that quite a lot.
He was very good.
Yeah, I like it. Now, Robbo's got to promote an event, Whitey, apparently. You got to promote a big event. You promoted it on here with Whitey. Try and sell him.
Oh, Whitey, you got to fly down for this event.
Yeah, here we go.
Grand final, is it?
Yeah, no, it's I don't even know. It's a Thursday.
You should know. You've got to promote it.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some bloody things to show people. You talk to all these supporters. It's the 18th of September, and it's at the Mimo Music Hall, and it's an institution, the Mimo Music Hall. And if you're not doing anything, you want to get involved in a pie night, finals week, bit of a footy panel.
There we go.
And the band, we're going to be playing music, and the trivia is based around music and football, but using the band with the questions as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
You didn't promote it properly. All right, so here we go. It's 6:30 p.m. till 11 p.m. Thursday, 18th of September. We'll run through everything. Footy trivia, handball competition, best dressed prizes, post trivia party band. That's you, I'm assuming, Robbo.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's $60 per head. But it's $50 for standing. And as Robbo said, it's at the Mimo Music Hall, which is where it's not even on this invite.
Mimo Music Hall.
Where is it?
Obviously you heard of the internet?
St Kilda.
Mimo Music Hall. St Kilda. You don't have to say St Kilda. You just go Mimo Music Hall and see where it is.
It's in St Kilda. So get around it, get into it. The strange thing about this invite, because it seems like a finals party because it's during September, and you've got West Coast, St Kilda, Port, Melbourne, Sydney, all the teams that aren't even playing in the finals.
Very fair. I look after everybody, and plus it's the only jumpers I could find on Canva.
Just
Mate, it's not that serious. It's just an event. Come along and enjoy some football stuff in September. Because this is the thing, in September, if you're not in it, you want to get involved somehow. And we're not.
Robbo was like, "Oh, mate, I need to get on the podcast. I've got to promote this event." And then I give him the floor.
I don't want to seem too desperate.
Bloody shambles.
Whitey is $60 for you, 65. All right, come along.
Bloody shambles. No, that's good. We're gonna wrap up. We're gonna wrap up. We've done a pod with Whitey. Are you happy to do that?
I'm absolutely
Okay.
happy with it. I'm so surprised when I walked in and saw my old mate's face. It's great.
Before we wrap, we're going to go around. All right. So we've done all the Kalani chat and we're very excited, but we're going to go around and we're going to talk about 2026.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I don't expect us to do early season predictions, but I just want to get a sense of once we get to round 1, 2026, what are you hoping has transpired between now and then? How are we set up? And I know that's hard to answer. We're going to throw it to Whitey to begin with.
Oh,
What
wow.
place are we in? It's a hard one, but what place are you hoping that the football club are in by that point?
Look, health, I think, is most important. I think if you look at the clubs that are in the 8 at the moment, they really haven't had a big turnover and they've all had big pre-seasons. Well, I really want to give out a bit of a special mention to Casey. I think that shows a bit of the depth for the club. So a lot of the clubs that have finished in the bottom half haven't made finals. Their 2s haven't made the finals as well. So I think that's a really important. It shows that list management's really good. Yeah, I just want to see a healthy list. I want to see our best players our best 22, if you want to put it that way, have had a really good pre-season. They're ready to go. That's where you get a bit excited. When you see players are having surgery in January, February, you get a little bit nervous, I reckon. So I really want to see a bit of health and well-being over that pre-season, and they've had a good base.
Yeah, I agree with all of that.
What else?
I know a little bit more about what's happening, given that I'm sort of hanging out with the president a lot and board people and
Take us into the room.
Well, I will, and it's not giving anything away that I don't think you already know, but it's just, again, don't buy into these journos hype. But obviously we're going to have a new coach. Rolling into this first game.
Would you like Nathan Buckley?
I would love to have Nathan Buckley,
Yeah.
and absolutely, I don't think anybody would hate him. Surely not. I mean, so what, Collingwood? So what? I thought he was starting to hit his straps when he was getting towards the end of, starting to understand what actual coaching was about, and he speaks so well in the media. So if he comes in knowing that he sort of didn't quite get the best out of that Collingwood group, and there was reasons why, and if he's learnt from that, then great, obvious choice for us. He's in the middle of young and old coach. So finger on the pulse, I think he'd be great. We're going to have still have the Casey affiliation, but we're going to have a plan as to where we're going to be training soon. We're going to be out of Amy. That's done. Caulfield's happening. It's going to be. If it's not already signed off on, there will be a timeline as to when that will be happening. We'll have a board that is settled and would have met many times now. Smudge Smith is taken over as president. Greeny goes back to his football advisory role there.
Yep.
I know the board members, all of them. They're great. I think they're great. I think they're in it for the right reasons. You talk about Jeff Paws, he's a great man. Chris Barlow, and the list goes on. You're going to have new coaches come in. You're going to have, 3 or 4 players vying for selection through the draft. And if one of them's not Kehlani, it could be. Who knows? You've got another preseason into Harvey and Lindsay and these guys that are starting to be that group that love each other and just want to play for each other, and give Max and Petrarca and I hope Clary's still there. I don't know what's going to happen there. I won't pretend to know. But more than this, I just want to finish up by saying Jeff and I arrived at the club I arrived a year earlier, but it was kind of like a just welcome to the club, welcome to Melbourne, and just get used to things. The really first year for me was 98, and so it was for this fella. And Neil Danaher arrived on the doorstep at the same time, and we went from the bottom to the top. And it was based on our excitement, our belief in this guy that is now taking over, a trust in each other, and just genuine excitement. So I think there's going to be a lot of that going on for the Melbourne Football Club. And you hear all these people that aren't attached to the Melbourne Football Club say that they're genuinely excited about what we can produce as a list.
Yep.
And that we're a lot further ahead than what a lot of people think. So long-winded answer. I'm excited.
Good.
Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah,
I'll give you some players and where they're lining up. So round 1, 2026, we're at the MCG, hopefully, if the AFL are kind to us like they were this year against GWS. First thing, the jig happens again. We need the jig happening. The Irish jig was unbelievable. We need that in the stands. It was one of the great things that they rolled out. Everyone enjoyed it. We want that to happen. But the other things we want to happen, we want Jai Cully starting round 1.
Yeah.
He was a nice find at the end of the year. We want Harrison Petty behind the ball, in my opinion. I want him in defence. We want Trent Rivers in there for the first centre bounce as well. I think his progression and development should be in the middle. And we want Harvey Langford potentially in the middle as well, lining up. And anything else positionally, we'll see. But that's my hope. That's what I'm looking for.
Well,
with a few positional things.
It's a handing over of the baton soon in that midfield group, isn't it? Because, you've got to look to the future and you go, well, Petrarca, Oliver, Viney, Max, they've done it for a long time. And now you've got this next group coming through. And it would be good to see Rivers in there. Maybe just one of those guys or Langford. Langford's great on a wing. I love Cully on a wing.
Yeah, for sure.
Whitey, rucking for the Melbourne Football Club, Max is going to be that, and we don't know what Kalani's going to do yet, and we won't put any pressure on. But, how do you feel about the big man and where he's at the moment? How much longer can he do it?
Oh, well, it's got still another 2 years. I wouldn't be surprised if he has another outstanding year next year. One of the things that he loves his running, but what he did this year was that cross training, the bike and stuff he did with Langford. Really, that helps with his endurance and his aerobic capacity, and keeps his legs, I guess, fresh. As you know, you get a bit older, it's hard to it takes longer to recover. So hopefully, and then he can have the support, Van Ruin or Petty or whoever it is that runs through the ruck. You need to have that support. You need to have that. But it'd be really interesting to see if I'm hoping they get rid of the sub, because then you'll be able to run with another ruck. That might be able to actually help Gorney a bit more.
Yeah.
Yep. Well said. I like it. Round 1, maybe we get the Channel 7 camera panning to Jeff, the prospect of Kalani playing that year as well. Beer in hand, all those types of things.
I just want to get his name called out, because it's all I want.
That's it.
No, it's good. Just the very last thing from me, and I know I've said this to you via a text, Jeff, and I've had you on the show a few times leading up to Kehlani getting his name read out, of course. Just how open you've been, how honest you've been. But the thing that has caught my eye, I've got a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, 2 boys at home, and it is batshit. It is chaos. I look forward to going through what you blokes have explained today with my boys as well. And the 3-year-old's obsessed with footy and loves the D's. And just taking a leaf out of your book, Jeff, and I'm sure Robbo's the same, but just watching the way you've empowered him to be his own man, to make his own decision, I just think it's been wonderful parenting. It's great for me to see from afar, and hopefully I can implement that one day with my boy if he chooses to play footy and if he's any good. But I just think it's been really impressive. And I think a lot of people, Melbourne supporters, a few on Twitter and a few that messaged me, were saying a similar thing. Like, if he had gone and picked the Suns, so be it, because it's his decision at the end of the day. And I think it's a little bit unfair for people to say, oh, there's no fucking way, or even the Robbos of this world saying he's going to come up there and bash you.
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed he chose Melbourne, because I wanted to beat the shit out of Whitey.
But just to round it off, I just think you've absolutely nailed it in that regard. So well done to you.
And thanks, kind words. And I also have to, it's two of us involved as well. It's his mum. She's been, even though we're no longer together, she's been unbelievable in relation to the communication with the club. Both clubs, in fact, but mainly Melbourne. So shout out to Stace for the work that she's done as well. And his twin brothers. His twin brothers have kept him humble and grounded, and ganged up on him a lot. They even had a big fight last night, play fight, which was pretty funny. So it's good that the Twins have really embraced him as well.
Yeah, it's if you're like me, because my son, I'm not with his mother either anymore, and look, I try to keep him grounded and really, strong by saying things to him like, "I'm your favourite, aren't I? Like I'm the better one. I'm the best." Hey, Jeffrey, plug for his first use
Yes.
business,
Last plug.
which is all about the finer art of
It's rucking and all that, but I've just secured an investor too, which I'm really excited about. So it's good.
Well, that's amazing.
So
think
he's a business mindset. He's a St Kilda supporter, but he's a lovely guy. He came through the AFL connection, but it's more. It's obviously going to have a bit of rucking, but we've created an AI app, which is really what my dream is for First Use is to be a coach mentor.
Yeah.
Be able to provide that, because there's a big gap between head coaches in the AFL and the junior coaches, local coaches. So that's where First Use is coming into play.
I think there's.
Geez, he plugged that just quickly. He plugged that a lot better than your event.
Look at it.
Sorry.
That's fine. He's good at that. But I feel like you missed a real opportunity there. I would have called it something like "Go and get rucked" or.
I've had put slogans on that.
This is rucking awesome.
Yeah.
This is rucking awesome.
That's good.
That's what we.
Robbo, good at creating catchphrases, not good at promoting his own events.
Ruck you.
Ruck off.
Ruck off.
All right, let's all ruck off. See you later. Jeff, thank you very much for jumping on. Thanks for
congratulations,
you,
mate.
Robbo.
Awesome.
Thanks, mate. Thank you.
And thanks for waiting 25 minutes for the great man, Russell Robertson.
Get rucked.
Yeah.
Oh, that was good.